Rise and shine. Good morning and welcome to Atlanta. I know I posted an original video basically of my relocation here, but it's been about a week since I've really started moving. The pod came, the pod went, and I've pretty much just spent the past week trying to unpack and repack and kind of figure out how to make this apartment my own, you know? Like, it's been funny because Sam had so much stuff and I had so much stuff, so to merge all of that took, you know, a lot of Tetrising in the cabinets, but it really worked out. We pretty much have one of everything at this point. You know, it's the middle of the year anyway, so I've seen so many people go through a lot of change right now, whether it be loss or moving or having a career change. It's like really, it just seems like everyone's doing it, so it shouldn't be that surprising. It's kind of nice for me because normally I'm the one that's just like up and leaving. But whatever you're going through in this season of your life, just know you're not alone. We are here, and yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can write it in the comments down below, and you know, or just hit me up. Most of y'all probably know me personally, but anywho, so I decided to answer a couple questions that people may have about my move, just like life in general right now, where my head's at, and it's also good for me because I love watching these back and seeing, you know, how I've progressed through life. It's a trip, bro. Like, when I started this project, like, it was, I don't want to say it was a rock bottom of sorts. I was definitely spiraling. Who's to say where I'm at now mentally? I feel very good, but sometimes I look back at these and I'm like, girl, are you okay? So I guess I'll just answer the first question, which is why Atlanta? Atlanta was never on my bucket list, I'll tell you, but after visiting here a couple times because Sam moved here, I really started to understand like how they were building up the infrastructure, and coming from Nashville, like I really started to appreciate those things. I don't know, I was very spoiled with like a lot of like creature comforts and just stuff that I got used to. I thought it was everywhere, but it was not everywhere. Like roads. Obviously Sam and Finnegan are here. Finnegan's somewhere in the, you could see Finnegan's butt right there. Maybe he'll make an appearance in a little bit. But this is normally his nap time. He sits on that little throne over there. You know, I've lived off and on with Sam for like 10 plus years, and she's one of the only people that gets how I can live. And I have like a lot of like little nuances and neuroses, so she was probably my only roommate option because I don't want to lose any friends. It was really between Atlanta or Austin, Texas. After visiting Austin, it was definitely on my top. And it was just kind of about like, do I really want to like move somewhere alone again? Like, there's just so many things. I didn't have any jobs lined up. I'm like, I literally just kind of like free falled this move. Yeah, I just thought it was going to be the more sensible decision to move to Atlanta, have a roommate, have a cute pet waiting for me that screams at me every morning to feed it. Then it's kind of like Atlanta's airport scenario I thought was really great because it gives me the same driving radius basically as Nashville almost. Like, obviously I can't do Illinois as easily, but I can drive to Florida a lot faster now, but I could still hit Dollywood or Asheville in about the same amount of time. And also I'm finally like a little closer to the ocean. Where I land in my retirement, I really want to be near the ocean again. I've always been a water baby, and like I just miss it. It's something about the ocean that just really brings me peace. So I think it's also interesting the way they've built this city up. When you drive through it, it gives me like capital of Hunger Games. And yeah, I just think that with the type of events they hold here, it just seems like the US as a whole likes to use us as a hub. There's a lot of like English/UK concepts that get, you know, brought here first. There's a lot of things I had weighed out, but those were kind of the core components. It was like having a great roommate and a support system. Splitting my rent is dope. Like, it's unbelievable how much money I think I'll save by making that choice. For work, what are we doing for work? I've actually been really lucky that I had two great companies that I was in communication with once I got to town. One was before I went to town, got here actually. Like, I had been interviewing for a small kind of cafe restaurant, and chef driven, farm to table, really beautiful concept. And another concept I had started interviewing with pretty much the week I moved here was one that I had interviewed for in 2021. And so that's Planta. As I'm filming this, I have not received an offer yet, but I think I'm pretty much there. I've gone through all the steps. I've talked to everybody, including the CEO, but the funny part is I've already talked to him, and we had a funny little catch up about that, because in 2021, I think it was around March, April. I mean, that's what it was March. In March of 2021, I had made the decision that I didn't want to live in Nashville anymore. I really missed home. And I really wanted to find a job back in South Florida. And so or Florida in general. I was applying to places in Orlando and places in South Florida, specifically in a learning and development or training role. I was trying to get out of operations and trying to get out of Nashville. Through that, I had talked to Planta, and Planta is a plant-based concept. They are completely vegan, work really closely with sustainability, and at that time I hadn't really been exposed to a lot of concepts that were doing that, and I felt that that was something that I was really in line with. So I started talking to them, and then I also started talking to this restaurant in Boca called Farmer's Table, and it kind of got down to the wire who was giving me the best offer. I think Planta was still checking my references when Farmer's Table had given me an offer, and I knew it was about $20,000 more than Planta was going to give me at the time. I accepted the job at Farmer's Table, and I packed up my car, and I packed up most of my things in Nashville, but I hadn't sent for them yet. My plan was to go down to South Florida, kind of get settled, and then I would come back and get my stuff. Well, I got to Farmer's Table, and it was just not in a good place. Like, a lot of the questions that I had asked that were specific, like, do they have a general manager in place? How long has that general manager been in place? I asked those specifically because they helped me make my decision, because I didn't want to train at a place that had a faulty operation. As I am sitting there on my first day, they introduced me to their brand new general manager. It was his first day as well, and they were getting ready to fire the general manager that had been there for 6 years. So all of a sudden, all the staff are crying. Then they're looking for their other restaurant manager that like brings them comfort. They fired that man the next day. And it was like going into a holiday weekend but it was a holiday weekend, and I was like, well, who's running the store? If you've just fired your entire staff? And they're like just staring at me, and I'm like, So I packed up my stuff on day 2, and I drove back to Nashville, and I was like, okay, quick reset. I kind of was like depressed, I think, for a week, but in that I was like, okay, I gotta apply for things. I applied for Yolan as a supervisor. I went in and I talked to Brienne and the Montuanos, and they were like, you're too experienced. Why don't you want to be like a bigger role? And I was like, well, I applied because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with myself, and then they offered me the AGM role, and the rest is history there. So even though it's crazy to now be here a couple years later talking to a concept that I talked to in 2021, I'm just appreciating the timing of it, because had I not made those pivots, had Farmer's Table not been a flop, I would have never worked at Yolan, and I would have never worked at the Joseph and met some of the best friends that I've ever had. And it really does kind of pay off to follow your gut, and you know, if things aren't working, don't just stick them out sometimes, because you can unlock these beautiful memories. Push come to shove, again, still waiting for the offer, but I have applied to be the restaurant leader of the Atlanta / Buckhead Planta Queen. So I'm about to be Planta Queen, I hope. So if not, this is gonna be a real weird cut. If it doesn't work out and you come back next week and I'm still unemployed, don't cry for me, because that's the point, right? If things don't work out, they're not meant to. So, but I think this is gonna work out, and hopefully by the next video I'm employed. All right, what else do we have? I made like kind of a list. This is a big day. A big reason why I was doing this as an edit day as I check my phone. This is crazy. Life is so crazy, right? Today I am waiting for my mother's remains to be shipped to me. So this year I had gotten a call from it was Nashville Metro, but Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office had reached out to me at the beginning of the year because they believed they had a lead on my mother's missing case. And essentially, we found out that my mother's remains were found in 1987, and through genetic testing, they matched it to be her. So over the past couple months, I have been dealing with a lot of interesting components about this process. So January 9th, I get the first call. I think within a couple days I had gotten, there's a video of it, it's on my channel somewhere. So I had gotten a test done, sent my DNA sample. I get the results back, I think it was February 5th, and started the process of, you know, they have this cold case, the investigation's still ongoing, but then I start to think like, what do I do with her? You know, what do I do with her remains? And I didn't want to rebury bones, so I have opted for cremation. Because the case is so old and her remains were found in 1987, the autopsy that was initially done, that medical examiner is no longer, like, he retired. So they needed to send the remains for another autopsy just in case, you know, the case went to trial, in case. That took about a month, I want to say. They sent them to, I believe it was USF. Then they submitted it again to a peer review because I opted for cremation because, you know, if anything happened, there's no redo. It's just dust. And just like this last week, they had confirmed that her cremation has been processed and her remains are ready to be shipped to me. So they will be shipping her ashes, and I am set to receive those today. So might come back on, show you. I don't know what they're coming in, if it's a bag, a box. It's kind of a crazy thing to deal with, but I just want to express so much gratitude to everybody that has been involved in this. I know the government and authorities get a bad rap, but when I tell you these people have been incredibly gracious and helpful during this entire process, I have not had to come out of pocket at all, which is really incredible because I wasn't in exactly the position to do so. But even the shipping, that's kind of some of the delays this week were just about them getting the funding for it. Yeah, it's just crazy. What's it, June 29th? What a long process. So if you are struggling out there with the death of a family member and it's taking a while, again, just believe that it's divine timing. Everything will work out. It is a signature required because, you know, of the package. So I'm just kind of here waiting for a knock at the door. I've been trying to figure out what I want to do to memorialize her, and now that, like, again, the timing has been different. I thought it was going to be closer to Mother's Day that I'd actually gotten her remains, but now it's looking like I might try to do something in August. I mean, we're going into July, and if I'm going to start a new job, it's going to be a little hard for me to just drive to Florida. So I really want to get in contact with Our Lady Queen of Heaven, which is where my grandparents are buried. And I would love to go down probably around August, because August 9th was her birthday. That is kind of where everything is for what's processing for my mom. Ooh, I am getting emotional just now, but I should have talked about this at the end. I think the part for me that hasn't clicked yet is that, like, this is like the first time we'll be together again since she went missing. And I think that that's pretty, like, crazy. So I know I'll feel things. I feel things now, but I don't know. It's just kind of heavy if I really, like, sit with it. But I'm glad I got to bring her home, and I am glad for all the people I've reconnected with because of this. And again, like, so grateful for everyone that's been involved. But yeah, it's just a trip. It's like crazy that it's like 30 some odd years later, and like, I don't know. I don't really have words yet, but it's not lost on me, like, the importance of this all. So just grateful more than anything that this is happening in my lifetime. Just wild. But yeah, it was funny because, like, when I moved, I was like texting and like emailing everyone. I was like, hey, I moved, so like if you are gonna ship her, like, we have to change the shipping address. Don't want her shipped to Nashville. Anywho, Okay, we're gonna come back in like 2 seconds. All right, composed myself a little bit. Oh, my Loveless Cafe mug that I got. She's cute, but I'm a righty, so we're gonna turn her back around before I spill everything. I will try to give you a little tour of my room. I finally hung some things yesterday, and we're finally like getting to see the floor of it again. So very excited. It's kind of in a good spot. So I hope this audio isn't shit. If it is, I apologize. I'll do a voiceover, whatever. But so yeah, it's been a year, hasn't it? And now we're going into July. I'm so excited. I love when a month starts on a Monday. Is everyone there with me? Little OCD girlies, where are you? Comment down below a sun emoji if you love when a month starts with a Monday. Yeah, so what are my goals for the rest of the year is stuff that I've been trying to think about now. I had not even considered anything of the future until I got out of Nashville. And again, I miss my friends already, but I love that we chat and text every day anyways. Even when I was there, I never really saw people physically, but we would text all day long. On my last day, I was able to, we made a day of it. On my last Nashville day, we went to the Tennessee, Sam came with me. We went to the Tennessee Aquarium. We went to Bill's, saw my favorite Bill. Hi, Bill. I had some sandwiches and then went to give my apartment complex my keys. No one's followed up with me, which is kind of shit. But until that happened, I felt like I couldn't go forward outside of like obviously the job search because, you know, money needs. For the rest of the year, I am very much looking to explore Atlanta, get to know what it has to offer. I know we talked a little bit about the radius, so I do want to travel still. Looking forward to a couple trips to Florida, not just for my mom's memorial, but now that I've been playing Disney Dreamlight Valley and I've been watching Disney movies, I've slowly released the PTSD from working there. I mean, I don't think it's completely done. I still don't know if I feel like I could visit Disney Springs, but we are getting closer because I have agreed to do like a food and wine trip. I think we're gonna do like October food and wine. For next year, I really would love to get to Europe at some point. Italy, London, anywhere really, but definitely those two are my tops. I would love to do a Dollywood Christmas or something like that. I feel like I've compared 2024 to 2020. It was like, yeah, it's crazy. These past 4 years have been such a whirlwind for me. You know, I would have never expected 2020 to go the way it has. I think 2024 has given me probably even more surprises. And I'm just really grateful that I have had the mental health to get through it, and I've had a great support system. But I can tell you, I'm really struggling to not compare this to the pandemic, because it seems like we're all doing that. We're all having these hard resets. You know, people are selling businesses and moving states or getting ill. We've had a lot of loss. I can't believe some of the people that have passed on. I, you know, think about Joey every day, as most of us do. I know Salim's still running every day. It's just unbelievable. I mean, there's just so much that has happened to all of us. Again, we're gonna keep trucking through it, but for fuck's sake, when we talk about the pivot year, we have pivoted, my dudes. Thank you for coming along on this journey. I know it's kind of a long update. I don't know how much of this I'm gonna clip out anyways, but I'll snap in some clips of my exploring here. I don't know if the Doorbell will be its own thing, but I found so many great food places already. I'm having a really good time, and I feel like I'm settling into Atlanta really well, and I'm really excited about this new season of Rust from the Road. I love you, and love each other, and try to be kind, and I'll see you next week. Can you say hi to the vlog? Give me a stretch or something. All right, I'll take it. Now it's time to head to the movies with our cinematic crusader. Here with another titanium take, here's our movie maven Kai.
Well, hey there everybody. It is I, your movie maven Kai, and I am back about 80%. Still, you know, kind of fighting all of this, but you know, the allergy thing I've gotten used to over the years. Hopefully you guys are feeling good. Hopefully you're having a good day. I was. Today is Friday, and it's the day that I usually record these, and I do it after I come home from work. And if you don't know, I'm a therapist and I work with kids, and so I was with one of my clients when I felt my phone and my watch just like going off, and I couldn't check it. So the second I walked out of the house, I look at it, I got a couple of text messages, a couple of Instagram posts, you know, all kinds of stuff coming at me. And I found out that Martin Mull died. And if you don't know who Martin Mull is, you do, because he's an incredible character actor. He's been working since like the 70s. He's absolutely brilliant. And when I looked up to see, you know, is this a hoax, is, you know, whatever, 80 years old, battling an illness for a while, unspecified as of now. And that's fine. We don't need to ask. But you know him from Clue, from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, from Veep, from Roseanne, the original run of Roseanne, from all these absolutely wonderful, Arrested Development is another one, all these absolutely wonderful shows and movies that he did. He was so brilliant and funny. And he was one of those people that you saw show up in a movie and would go, oh, I love him, and then would immediately forget that he's an actor, because he was an incredible, incredible character actor and just so wonderful. And I've known people who've worked with him before, I've never heard a bad story about Martin Mull. Always gracious and funny and sweet and very warm and welcoming to everybody, you know, whether, you know, you're a principal actor, background actor, a crew person, you know, the guy setting up Crafty, like, you know, he was just a fantastic person. And 80 years old, what a life, and left such a legacy, and was so relevant to so many generations of people. You know, seeing the articles going, I remember him from this, or you might remember him from this and this, Martin Mull of blah, 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 blah. So I take celebrity deaths kind of rough, because, I mean, I grew up in front of the TV. You know, that was the one thing my family could afford. So I spent a lot of time watching movies. I spent a lot of time watching shows, rewatching shows. Things become comfort. And he was one of those people that was always very comforting. I always knew that if he was, you know, even a bit player in a show, or, you know, had a 5 or 6, you know, episode character arc, that it was going to be one of my favorite parts, because he was just so great. One of my favorite movies of all time is Clue. And I mean, this movie is so stacked. You have Christopher Lloyd, you have Tim Curry, Martin Mull, Madeline Kahn. I mean, just the cast is insane, you know, how good it is. And it's so very funny, and it's so incredibly silly and well written. And then the cast just is able to do all of this, you know, amazing back and forth, and the exchanges and the timing. It is a masterclass in comedy. If you've never seen it, please, please, please honor this man and go watch Clue. It's based off of the board game. And I think it was like one of the first movies they really did, you know, based off of a game. It's a bunch of people who get invited to a mansion. They're all being blackmailed, and they basically are given the opportunity to, you know, kill whoever they think is blackmailing them all. So just like, you know, playing a game of Clue. It's so great. And when it originally ran in theaters, there are 3 endings. And when you saw it in theaters, you never knew which ending you were going to see. So people were talking about, like, this is how it ended. And other people were like, no, that's not what I saw. So they were going back to see it again. It's brilliant. It's brilliant marketing. When you finally saw it, like, on, you know, cable, or, you know, now I want to say it's streaming on Netflix. I think it was the last place I watched it. If not, Pluto. When you watch it now, it shows you all 3 endings. And it's almost, you know, better that way, because you get this whole, you know, this is how it could have ended, this is how, you know, it might have, and, you know, things. And it's absolutely brilliant and wonderful. It's so quotable. I have friends that, you know, I shout, you know, these things to, or I'll say something in a very specific kind of tone or demeanor, and they'll counter with a quote. You know, it's that impactful. And it was so brilliant and wonderful. Just like this man. Go watch Clue. I've been seeing a lot of people posting about how they're struggling right now. Me too. There's a lot going on. Whether it's personal stuff, the state of our country, the economy, in this economy, you know, and we need a laugh. We need a distraction. It's a 2-hour distraction. And you don't feel the 2 hours. It's just, we need it. We need these kind of movies. And I feel like, you know, this is how we carry a legacy on from these actors who, some of which we've lost, some we still have. And, you know, it's important that we keep them alive, because they're such amazing, wonderful movies. They don't make movies like this anymore. Clue, I want to say it came out in 1985. I don't remember the company, but thank you so much for making this movie, for producing this movie, for distributing this movie. If you had anything to do with this movie, thank you. And Martin Mull, I wish that, you know, people sang your praises more when you could have heard it, but you knew. I think you knew. I hope you did. Guys, take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for coming to see us every week. We're going through a lot. Rusty and I are dying. Internally, externally, age, stress, everything. But we're here, and thank you for sharing it with us. The good times, the bad times. You mean a lot to us. Hopefully we mean something to you, rather than just, you know, tuning in to laugh at our unfortunate misadventures. Thank you guys for being here. Drink your water, take your meds. We will see you next week.
I didn't want to edit on an empty stomach. Is there something on the screen? So make a little breakfast, and maybe there'll be a knock at the door. We don't know. We're still waiting, so. It's always when you like aren't watching me that I crack it perfectly. Southwest hash brown, sausage, and eggs. Look who's come out just in time. Cheers.
On a fake accent, and he even claims his.
Sorry, I was watching the Sloan video on Clinton Kane. That drama is wild. Brooke forever. So I'm gonna play a little Disney Dreamlight Valley for a little bit while we're waiting on our delivery. And yeah, that breakfast is so good. I'll be honest. I can really eat the same breakfast over and over again. And I've never done it with like the pico. I've done the pico on like breakfast tacos, but anywho, but time to play some Disney Dreamlight Valley and just chill. So play a little Dreamlight Valley. I have my sheets in the washer right now. Again, just like refreshing the space before I give you the full tour. Finnegan, back to work. He normally hangs out for most of the day in his little throne. And we are still waiting on the delivery. So I'm going to kind of get caught up on some admin tasks. I'm going to email my Aunt Denise because I haven't talked to her in a couple weeks just because I've been so busy. So I'm going to catch her up, send her some pictures of the new spot. And yeah, again, just waiting at this point. So going to continue editing. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the day. My whole focus today was just like cleaning and finishing up what I kind of did yesterday. Well, all week really, but the sheets and all that were like my like little finishing touches to make sure it's like brand new, fresh, clean, new start to the new me. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a great day. I don't know if I'll be officially filming an outro, so I think I'll film like an unboxing. This is crazy. That is the craziest unboxing I'll ever have in my life, I'm sure. Wild. But besides the unboxing, not really sure if I'll finish. So if I don't have an outro, just know, again, like I always say, thank you so much for even giving a damn about what my life looks like right now. And yeah, I hope you're all doing well. Was that a wink? I don't even know if I got that one off. Love you, bye. This is cute, should I scoot? Finn, you're not in frame. Take two. I wanted to put together a little life update video. Maybe I shouldn't have done that right when I did that. But anyways, I wanted to put together a little life update video. I haven't really filmed. I mean, I've been filming things I've been doing, but I haven't really been chatting to anybody. Hello? Maybe, maybe. Good morning. We'll take what we can get. Wanted to sit down and kind of chat it out and, you know, just give you guys a little life update. No, I guess it would have been like left. No. No, I don't want the trash can in there. Are you gonna at least edit for me? Okay, great.